have a couple of fine gentlemen from Capcom Vancouver,
Yes.
from the Dead Rising 4 team. Joe Nichols, studio director, nice to meet you,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
And Bryce Cochran, the executive producer on the game.
Frank is back, and it's 16 years after the first outbreak.
And because it's the 10th anniversary of Dead Rising, we thought, well, it's perfect timing to bring Frank back. And
we focused on bringing back a fan favorite, bringing Frank back. Everybody loves Frank. He's
Yes.
the original. We are the original. We want to bring that back.
we kept coming back to Frank because the fans love Frank. He's the original.
Hashtag Frank's back.
Okay.
And we were thinking, we want to bring Frank back anyway. Now that we brought Frank back,
Let's do some user research, find out what the fans want, and they all wanted Frank to come back.
why would we want to bring Frank back? Well, they love him.
We wanted to go back to Willamette, where it all started, and we wanted to go back with Frank West.
Because of the 10th anniversary, we wanted to do something really special. And everybody loves Frank.
We're really excited to bring Frank West back.
Frank is back. That's what they kept saying, and they wanted to make sure that every fan knew it. Frank is back. Great news, right? I'm a huge fan of Dead Rising, so what more could I ask for? Well, unfortunately, Frank has returned pretty much only in name for this zombie slaughtering holiday. Capcom Vancouver, formerly known as Blue Castle Games, has decided to cut loose quite a few features that many Dead Rising fans, myself included, feel are pretty much necessary to make a Dead Rising game. The changes to Frank happen to be the most prevalent to me from the beginning, with Frank having a new voice, personality, and appearance. But that didn't, and it doesn't mean that I'm okay with everything else that's happening here. Far from it, really. As you may or may not know, back in June I started a petition in an effort to make fans aware of what was happening with Frank West and the replacement of TJ Rotolo in Dead Rising 4. I knew that Change.org wasn't taken very seriously and rarely yielded results. Knowing that, I still wanted to try to do what I could to grab the attention of as many fans as I could. I spent a decent chunk of free time posting updates, trying to keep fans up to date on Capcom Vancouver anytime they had something to say about Frank. Eventually, the petition was seen by Capcom Vancouver, but they never really had anything to say about it. However, not even 1 month after posting the petition, Terrence Rotolo, Frank West himself, showed support for the petition and has continued to do so every once in a while, even posting on his Facebook and Twitter from time to time. And that was around the time I started putting up videos to make more fans aware and support the petition. Fast forward about 3 months and several videos later, I see a few articles posted mentioning, and a couple that are actually about the petition on a few websites, like Escapist Magazine, Game Reactor, and even Eurogamer. Even Rooster Teeth's channel The Know had some kind words to say about my efforts.
More controversy happened with series fans back in June when it was discovered that Frank West's voice actor, Terrence J. Rotolo, had been recast for Dead Rising 4. Rotolo indicated on social media that he wasn't talked to about Dead Rising 4 at all, which led to Change.org petitions, which are always super effective.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe not kind. That was kind of like, well, imagine you were pushing a wheelbarrow full of stones and you came across a guy who had been carrying the rocks by hand to the same spot as you for the last several months. He had to do the work by hand because he doesn't have a wheelbarrow, but he's still working his ass off to help with the same thing. Okay, so obviously I'm not holding grudges against Rooster Teeth, The Know, or Ashley Jenkins, but really I just wanted to help, and I feel that the petition was worth my time. I can't put up a video and get hundreds of thousands of views based on my channel's popularity, so I was trying to put the word out in all kinds of places. But before we go any further, I have an analogy that kind of represents how I feel about this whole situation. Alright, so bear with me here. If you're told that a pizza is being made for you, then you go to pick up that pizza and see that it's a sandwich. Even if it's an amazing sandwich, that's not what you ordered, and it's pretty far from what you were told you were getting. You may have people saying, "Stop blindly hating this pizza. It's pretty great pizza, and it's actually quite a lot of fun." While you keep thinking, you've obviously never even had pizza before because this is a sandwich. Now obviously there's nothing wrong with sandwiches, but being told the sandwiches for sale are actually pizzas that the fans of the original pizzas will love, that kind of talk raises expectations, especially when you say you're bringing pepperoni back. You can't expect everyone to remain silent after raising the expectations of longtime fans by saying you're bringing the original pepperoni pizza back, just to reveal a sandwich with some salami on it that might sort of taste like pepperoni. Sure, you'll probably have plenty of people who stop in and enjoy the sandwich as a sandwich, but those probably aren't the same people who have been patiently awaiting the return of pepperoni pizza. Meanwhile, you've got the restaurant that's making the sandwiches that keeps claiming they're going back to their pizza-making roots, when really they never even worked on the original pepperoni pizza. You've got completely different people in the kitchen this time. And you know, I probably would have been fine with a salami sandwich. if they hadn't spent so much time trying to convince everybody that it was pepperoni pizza. Alright, so enough about food. They can't possibly be that far off, can they? Well, let's take a look at who Frank West is, in Capcom Vancouver's words.
Why I love Frank West? He has the biggest balls I've ever seen of any game character.
He has the best off assortment of weapons you've ever seen.
Frank's just an kicking, talking, bullshit mother.
You just love making me look like an ass, don't you?
Frank is cooler, he's tougher, a little wiser, but he's still Frank.
Oh, thank God. So all I needed was a little bit of reassurance. I just needed to know he wasn't gonna act like a complete fucking idiot in the new game. Oh, wait.
This looks very not good. Food court zombies are the worst. Hey, calm your shit, zombies! Well, set my balls on fire. What the shit happened here? Looking good. Shit, yeah! Thanks, Obama!
Who the fuck is this guy? That's not Frank West, is it?
Frank West, beloved photographer and just generally awesome guy.
Oh, okay, yep. According to them, that's Frank West. So who is Frank West supposed to be? Well, let's take a look at what the creator of Dead Rising has to say about that.
My name is Mr. Inafune. I work for Capcom. I am the producer of one of our new games, Dead Rising. In this game, the main character is a photojournalist that is following a key incident he thinks will be the next big scoop for him. He is just your average everyday Joe. He's a photojournalist. He's not somebody with intense military training. He's no superhero. He only has his camera when he first arrives on the scene.
So, probably not a shit-talking badass?
What we wanted to create was a game that seemed real, i.e. the main character himself is nobody that looks cool. Matter of fact, one could even say he's ugly. So we did not want that sort of Hollywood super ultra fear to be the main concept. We wanted it to be how you can take this main average character, fight against these impossible odds, and beat them without any super cool Hollywood sort of moves. This is just your average everyday Joe trying to survive the situation he has been pitted against.
Alright, so they changed Frank pretty drastically. Maybe they wanted to take it off in their own direction. Maybe they didn't want it to be similar to the first game. Just because they keep saying they want to go back to their roots, and just because they keep saying they brought Frank back, doesn't mean that they want this game to be similar to the original. Oh, wait.
Is there one you kind of want to, of the three games, is there one in particular you want to kind of point the team to with this game to say, let's kind of look more here and build off this?
For us, I think we were really looking at our roots and going back to one. But
That's the correct answer, by the way.
Oh,
yes.
great.
Why are you kicking me?
But one, we really wanted to go back to our roots.
Yeah.
We were bringing Frank back. It's the 10th anniversary, and we really wanted to recapture the original magic and bring it up to the level the game systems can do now. It is the 10th year anniversary of our game, and we wanted to go back to our roots. We're going back to Willamette.
Dead Rising 4 is better. We brought back our favorite character, Frank, and we still maintain what was really core to Dead Rising. I think fans are going to love it.
Alright, so Frank is pretty different, but at least he said they still maintain what's core to Dead Rising. That's really just as, if not more important, isn't it? Alright, well let's look at some of the core elements of the original Dead Rising. And let's add in some smaller but definitely noticeable features. Along with this one, which is just entirely my opinion. And now let's remove everything that is absent in Dead Rising 4. Wait, really? Stop. Stop doing that. Just stop. So what exactly have they been focusing on this whole time? Where's the actual meat of this game if they removed all of these classic features that made Dead Rising Dead Rising?
Yeah, the selfies are awesome. And they're even more fun when you're wearing a chicken head, because you can do the cosplay still, so you can do the selfie.
Yeah, you can make his tongue go out or make him roll his eyes, so he can get, go for the Magnum or Blue Steel kind of look.
It's super cool, and you can take those shots.
Or he can just be an idiot, and that's your choice.
All new combo vehicles. They're just crazy, some of them.
When you open up to a holiday-themed kind of setting, all the stuff you can combo just gets another 25% more weird things, like snowman trees and candy canes, and it just makes it awesome.
So we decided, let's make an exosuit. So Frank is comboing himself. So, but then you can also combo the exosuit. We have one combo vehicle that scoops zombies up and throws them in a coffin in the back of the pickup truck. You burn the wheels to heat the engine up.
Then it actually lights the zombies on fire, and then you send flaming zombies into the crowd. It's just ridiculous. Let me quickly talk about combos, how they're different this time around, all right?
If you had a candy cane crossbow, that would be pretty funny to see a zombie loaded up with candy canes staggering towards you. That's the kind of stuff that we've done.
But then we start easing you into the full story. Here's how I combo weapons. What's this combo exosuit I hear about?
You can turn it into many different kinds of exosuits. So that felt like a natural progression to really dial up the combo because it's a combo you wear. There's lots of vehicles just to drive and mow down zombies itself, but then you can combo them up.
We have lots of different combo exosuits that you can use. So that's been a really big focus for the game.
All these garden gnomes come out of nowhere and they parade off and they march and attack the zombies in front of you and then they explode. And it's ridiculous, and it's kind of funny, and I don't care if it's realistic, because everyone that's played it go, oh my god, I love that weapon, right? It's just fun, and we have dozens and dozens like it.
In the presentation that I saw yesterday, you said something along the lines of, if it's stupid, we should definitely do it. How fun is that from a game design perspective, when you guys are meeting up and you're discussing these ideas? How enjoyable is that coming up with that stuff?
When we say it's stupid, you know, there's a fine line between stupid fun and stupid not fun, right?
We'll always stay true to combo weapons, make sure it's funny, and thousands of zombies on the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes a little bit more sense now. So, combo weapons, exosuits, and goofy stuff. Oh, and zombies. Well, thanks for not taking those out, I guess. Well, they changed Frank, and they got rid of a lot of the elements that I really appreciated that used to be essential to the Dead Rising series. But the story still gotta be good, right? The story in the original Dead Rising wasn't fantastic or anything, but it had its own special brand of writing and dialogue. It really felt like a B-movie when I was playing through it. Not the bad kind.
You mentioned something about research for a story.
That's right. Got a tip that something big's happening.
In a nowhere little town like that? They sure didn't mention anything about it on TV.
Yeah, well, I'm freelance, pal. I don't make my living waiting for the TV to tell me what to cover.
That signature Dead Rising humor that's been around since the beginning. Whether it was always intentional or not, it was the way Dead Rising should be.
Give me your gun. Come on. I'm the reason you just got hurt. Let me help.
No, I can't let a civilian do that. That's against regulations.
Yeah, well, I don't think they had zombie-infested malls in mind when they wrote those regulations, kid.
You know how to use this?
Kinda. I've covered wars, you know.
The last time we did Dead Rising, we were in Los Perdidos and it was hot and sweaty and we want to try to do something else. And we were thinking, we want to bring Frank back anyway, so let's go back to Colorado, Christmas time.
We wanted to have a better story. We wanted to have a deeper story. We wanted to give people challenges. We wanted to really work on making deeper character development.
There is a reason for Frank to come out of hibernation. There's a reason for Frank to go back. And of course, you know, going back to discover what's going on.
So, what do they do with the story? I'm sure that's gotta be great. They brought Frank West back? I mean, they had to have tried to make a good story. Oh, wait. Alright, Dead Rising 4 spoilers starting now, so if you don't want to see them, you better go.
So, we start the game off with why Frank's going back to Willamette. We kind of tell you the story really quickly with what's going on.
Where are we going anyway? What the...
Just hear me out.
You said we were gonna go play mini golf.
So the story starts off with Frank. Is this a fucking joke? Okay. The story starts off with Frank being tricked into going back to Willamette by his new partner Vic. After luring Frank back with the temptation of mini golf, Frank and his new protege just sort of wander into a military base where they find some weird experimenty governmenty military cloning conspiracy stuff or something. They somehow escape, and Frank goes back to his life as Hank East. Okay, well, moving on. Fast forward a few hundred combo weapons, selfies, and exosuits later. You get to the ending, which is just a cliffhanger which basically says, buy our season pass. So that's probably a no-go on the story for me as well. I just don't understand why they tried so hard to make Frank funny in this game. Oh, wait.
We don't try to write the funny, we let the gamer be the funny person.
You're a quick one.
That's what she said. Who wants barbecue? No? No one? What the hell is this? The greatest hits of Frank West?
We don't try to write funny. We provide all the tools for the gamer to be funny because we want people to play it how they want to play it.
Yeah, I may have overestimated by 4 or 6 zeros. So what? Oh, look at that. My bad. Wrong night to go commando, I tell you.
We don't want to write funny. We want to give you all the stuff to be funny. And I think that's the magic of Dead Rising.
Mick, I forgive you. This is way better than mini golf. I am too middle-aged for this shit. Holy crap. This goes well, you get the next one. Fist bump.
Are you okay?
My therapist says it's an ongoing process.
No, I can't.
Too cool for school, huh? All right! Can the demo reel. I've seen enough.
Yeah, believe me, that works for me. I don't think I can handle much more of that.
And we're definitely not taking ourselves too seriously.
No.
No, don't worry. I don't think there's a single person that thinks you are.
Are there ideas on your whiteboard that get struck down for just being too goofy? Like, is there a line that you guys try to walk so you're not sort of becoming a parody of yourself of this franchises itself?
That's one of the great things about this franchise, right? Is we are allowed to have fun with it.
Yeah.
And we will try any crazy idea as long as it's going to be fun, right? We would only knock down something if it's going to be too diehard, too intense.
Sure, of course you're allowed to do it, but how about a little bit of integrity for the series here? The goofy stuff does bother me a little bit, but I don't think it bothers me nearly as much as pretty much every feature in the game being tweaked for instant gratification and a casual audience.
A lot of the people that are going to be playing this game may have only played one Dead Rising before, or may have never played Dead Rising before, so we have to be able to give something that's as widely appealing as possible.
We have combo on the fly now. You don't have to go find a workbench. You don't have to do crafting and like go sit down and knit.
Because we've had access to so much great research and people coming in, and we've been listening to what they've been saying, and we've been trying to tailor the experience for as wide an audience as possible.
Our demo was about 8 minutes long, and we've got people hitting 1,400 zombies. They're killing that many in 8 minutes, and it's amazing. But we have a quick switch system now. It's better because before you'd help a survivor and they go, thanks. You just take off. It's like, well, that was worth it. Now, when you help survivors, they drop loot.
Yeah, they do. And then they go,
thanks.
Maybe some hardcore fans will wish they had to walk over and do it, but the majority of the people say, no, I just want to get quick to the fun, let me push the button.
The people who play our games, they're who we're making the game for. So we have to please the most people that we can.
Yeah, notice how he says the most people.
I'm making the perfect game, right? We have a lot of directives that we've done at the studio, and one of them is get quick to the fun. Right? Because we are the mac and cheese of zombie slaying games, right? We are the greasy hamburger. I'm not going to wait 45 minutes for this to cook. I want it now. And that's how we've approached just about everything in the game.
Yeah, I'm seeing that pretty clearly now. I'm starting to think this next clip applies to pretty much everything in the game.
Is it something like that takes time to do? Or like, what does it take, like a second or two? Or
seconds.
Is it just like seconds?
Seconds.
What if we haven't played any of the other Dead Risings? It's still worth a pickup. Like,
no problem. You don't need to play any of the first 3.
Capcom Vancouver should have just created a new character for their new game. Bringing back Frank West the way Capcom Vancouver has is a smack in the face to many fans of the original Frank West. The original Frank West, who was voiced by Terrence Rotolo, was a very different character from the Hank East we have today in Dead Rising 4. If they had created a completely new character, I could possibly look past the fact that they scrapped a lot of the features from the original Dead Rising for the 4th game. Maybe. If they hadn't been trying to sell a sandwich as a pizza this whole time, I might be willing to try the sandwich. But some level of integrity to the Dead Rising series is needed here, don't you think? Isn't it sort of wrong to say Dead Rising 4 is going back to the roots of the series when it actually features only a few of the remaining core features of the original game? Dead Rising 4 is much easier and more accessible than any of its predecessors, except maybe Dead Rising 3. And in my opinion, that's not a good thing. Not when they are selling it as a game for fans of the original.
We have all these expressions. We have like how many smiles per hour can we get out of this game?
Dead Rising 4. Is it for you? If you're a fan of the original, I'd probably have to give it a solid no. even though I haven't played it. That is, unless you're looking for a wacky sequel barely recognizable as a Dead Rising title. The way Capcom Vancouver has handled promoting Dead Rising 4, the bastardization of Frank West, and the direction they have taken the game in, along with their outlooks and attitudes towards it, were more than enough for me to say a possible farewell to the future installments in the Dead Rising series. Smiles per hour or whatever formula it is they use over there might be a good way to handle making a casual game like Mario Party or Hello Kitty Island Adventure. You know, something focused completely on fun, good times. Not a new installment in a series about characters surrounded by hordes of the undead trying to eat everyone in the world. Do you really think this dude with a really hard to pronounce name that made Dark Souls used the smiles per hour formula? Probably not. And Dead Rising used to be one of the most difficult and rewarding games I'd ever played. Then the series shifted to casual gameplay and instant gratification. Is it a good game? It might be, and it looks like it could be some fun. Reviews even started going up today, and it's really not doing all that bad. Although they could have picked some better quotes for their box art. Seriously, those guys gave you a 40. What are you doing using their quotes on your box art? So, Dead Rising 4. It might be a good game, but it is not a good Dead Rising game in my book. Maybe when you're promoting Dead Rising 5 you won't spend so much time telling people what they want out of your game.
What the fans love about Dead Rising is it doesn't take itself too seriously. They love combo weapons. They love comboing weapons. And
people love comboing, but nobody wants to sit and really do the work to combo.
Right.
Because we found people really didn't like that. And then people say, oh, I could just go play it again.
Yeah.
People don't want to play it again to get that one other thing.
The last thing you want to do is like, oh, great, now where's that weapon? I got boop, boop, boop. You got to find it. It's not actually fun rummaging through your backpack trying to find a cheeseburger while you're trying to save humanity while zombies are attacking you. You want that part to be fast.
Maybe you'll look to long-time fan feedback rather than feedback from people who are just stopping in to just test out some game. Anyway, this video is going on for a lot longer than I had planned, so I think I'm gonna wrap things up. I don't want you thinking that I just hate Dead Rising 4 just because. Some of these things actually seem like pretty good ideas.
They all wanted more and more and more zombies. And so
How many more do you
want? No one's ever
Thousands.
said that's too many zombies.
I know, exactly. Thousands of zombies on the screen.
So we have 3 different flavors of zombie. We have the mindless horde that are just kind of running around and they'll kind of try and get you and swarm you. But then we have something called the fresh infected. That's kind of like 28 days later flavor. And we have one more type of zombie. If the freshly infected guys, the whole lore is they will snap and they will just become mindless like the rest of them, but some of them will push through and they'll go to the next stage, which is what we call the Evo zombie.
Oh no.
And they're the smart ones.
And so the camera is used all throughout the game, both to document and solve the mystery. We have like a dynamic encounter system. So you can have a bunch of survivors in a store. They're holed up in a store in the mall, and they're shooting out of the store at either zombies or other survivors or the soldiers. So, and that'll happen in the mall from time to time, and it won't happen in the same place, or it may not happen at all depending where you go. So it's really dynamic.
See? I don't think all of it's terrible. Alright, well that's pretty much everything. I could talk about how everybody's pissed about co-op, or the fact that they've ignored everybody who's been asking about the PC version, but the game comes out tomorrow and I've really said everything that I really wanted to in this video, so that's probably the end of it. And thanks for watching. You can like or subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'm gonna go play some Dead Rising. The first one.
now that we brought Frank back, where can we take Frank?
Oh god. Please leave him alone.
Do you find there's a balancing act trying to please those kind of hardcore fans who really love the time constraint stuff and the kind of, I mean, I found the controls a bit fiddly in the first one, and you know, and kind of balancing, but then refining the gameplay for, you know, to kind of broaden the audience a little bit.
Yeah.